And it's a good afternoon to all you folks out there on TV land, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube. I decided it would be a nice to have a short discussion on reality issues when it comes to seniors. And I want to talk a little bit of forgiveness about gratitude. I think gratitude is something we have to have in order to continue to live on this earth before we pass on. And gratitude means being thankful for the things that we had and the things that we still have. Now, when you go through a death in your family, you lose half of your person, or one of the persons in a relationship is lost to death or whatever happens, or separation. But we still have to live on beyond that. But we can be thankful for all the times we had before that. So I'm talking about the times that we grew up and the times we worked or at our life job, and reflecting on all the good things we had. Now, at that point, even after you lose your partner, you still can be thankful for things that we still do. And rather than keeping track of the things we lose, I think it's more productive to keep track of things that we still can do. So today I'm just going to read off some items here. Giving thanks for being alive and healthy, and walking and talking and driving your automobile. Now, if you're able to do those things, that gives you a lot more freedom to get around. And there's a lot of people who are in care homes or hospital beds that can't walk and get around and enjoy the things that many of us do. So we have to be thankful for that. And also be thankful that we're operating our phones, or we're into a new technology thing. We're operating our telephones, our computers, and doing our basic stuff at home. If we're lucky, we're still able to do a little bit of cooking, or whether you get Meals on Wheels, but you still have to do some basic shopping and doing things that you need for your basic needs. Now, having family and friends in the same city is a real plus. So if you have family local, have somebody to keep an eye on you or give you a bit of a hand sometime if you need or just some visiting. And friends, having friends is a real plus. Have a chance to talk to somebody when you go downtown. And a lot of times we meet people and we haven't met them yet, but if they're a stranger, they're a friend we haven't met yet. So we have to break that stigma. This COVID thing is all over, the scare is all over. We got to be able to walk up to somebody we don't know, introduce yourself and meet them, talk about, if they will, if they're not afraid of getting the virus, talk about what they've done in their life and what you've done in your life, and strike up a new friendship. And if we're lucky, we have good social skills, be able to share with others. So if we have any thoughts about things that we've done in our lifetime, whether it's a hobby or whether it's talking about work, or whether we share some ideas and learn from them, and we can learn from each other, share backwards and forwards. And if we're able to dress and bath and arrange for our own personal needs, that's a plus right there. Because once you get into a care home situation, sometimes you can't do that. You know, if you're physically unable to do things, you need help. But if we're living on our own and we can do all those things, that's a plus. So we have to be thankful and grateful for that. We also have to be realizing that with aging, we can lose our driving abilities, and realize we must meet all safety needs on the roads to be able to drive safely and be safe on the road when we meet other people and meeting other cars on the highway. So one of our recent seniors I've talked to has lost his driving ability. They've taken his driver's license away. And I think we have to be prepared for that. You know, we know darn well we're going to age out one day, and if you just kind of wait till it happens, we're stuck with all of a sudden we can't do anything because we can't move. Now, if the bus comes up to your house, you can get a bus pass and ride the bus. Or you can hire a taxi. And it's a damn shame when you lose your driving skills, because you lose the flexibility, you lose your freedom, because you don't get the freedom to drive downtown or go for a drive in the country and enjoy all the prettiness of Mother Nature. But we have to set our minds to the fact that it's going to happen. Now, in my particular case here, there's a bus that comes here to the Granite Manor. You can call them up and they'll come and pick you up. a reasonable fee involved, about $2.50. So wherever we go, we have to make sure that there's some transportation available. Now, I talked to the gentleman in town here and his wife, and he just lost his driver's license, and he's totally lost. And I suggested to him, it might be time. Maybe you don't want to think about it, and whatever you do is your own business. But it might be time to consider going down to a place like Lakeside. Lakeside Village there has a great spot. It's for seniors, and they serve your meals, and they got lots of services there. They don't have any medical services though. If you got to do a medical issue, you got to call 911 and have the nurse come there, or the ambulance come and pick you up. But as we get older, sometimes we got to move out of our house. Now, it's a hell of a thought to even entertain, but sometimes we got to sit back and say, well, look, I've got a few $1,000s in the bank, and I can either sell my house or give it to my kids, and then I'll just move into a care place, and then I'll live the rest of my life there. People can come and visit me there, and there's a bus service. We can ride the bus, because we probably can't drive anymore. We also have to set our mind into a motion that says that be prepared to be placed into or live in a care home or assisted living area. And also be prepared to ask for help if need be. If you got family or close friends around, you might have to ask for help to relocate. Well, the downtown here, there's the Share. They have a van. They have a 2-ton van, and there's a couple of young guys that drive the van. And if you happen to be moving up to care home or to Lakeside, they have this 2-ton truck. They'll come and pick up your stuff and load it up and haul it down there for you. A couple $300, maybe $400, and you can move your stuff. Or if you got family members, they can do it for you. But it's something we got to think about. We may not want to think about it, but we should think about it and prepare our mind to realize that. The other thing that I notice with seniors is, especially when there's a loss of a loved one in the family, there's a little bit of reluctance to walk up to a lady that you know and talk to them about the possibility of going for dinner or going for lunch or something like that. And if they're not responsive, it's not their fault. It's because of the age thing. We're getting older, and we don't look like Superman anymore, and of course everybody changes. But we have to just adjust that, we adjust our thinking to that. And if you can find yourself a person that will go and have lunch or go to a movie or go for a drive or something like that, it's a plus. It's maintaining a relationship with a person. We also have make sure we don't develop an attitude of not listening to ideas where there's a better way or change needed because of age or health-related issues. So we have to have an open mind thinking about, okay, what am I going to do when this happens? What am I going to do when that happens? And start getting our mind programmed thinking along those lines. And always have an open mind when somebody comes up with a suggestion. I'm living up here and getting Meals on Wheels, and it's working good for me. And we have to learn from other people. To just sit in your house and cry and complain about what's happened, and suffer, and feeling that the world is turning against us. Well, it isn't. We still have our life to live, and we may have to move to a new location. And the assisted living thing up at the Mountain Lakes is great there. And you just have to walk in and talk to the apartment manager there and find out what the lineup looks like and how much money it's going to cost, and make an arrangement to move. Then you can either contact Share or whoever's going to help you move, make the moving, and go for it. And then at that particular point, you can either give your house to your children or sell it, put the money in the bank, and do whatever you please. But it's a new way of life, and we have to get used to that. Now, related to health issues, when it comes to health issues, a lot of times where people have went through surgery already, and they've gone through exercise of having some medical work done, and they've got around it, they've healed up from it. So anytime there's a way of learning about health improvements or changing living conditions or arrangements, we have to maintain an open mind, so we are always receptive to new ideas. Even though we may not want to do it, because all those years we've lived in our home or lived in a certain place, and we're hung up on one way, but we have to be open enough for change. and not fight it, because there's nothing we can do about it. And there's no use sitting at home and crying and worrying about what the heck will I do. Just go and have a look and make the arrangements and do it. And if you need some help, get a family member. Always keep a open mind for newer or better ways to make life easier and cause less stress on younger family members who are acting as health or safety advocates for me or as an aging senior. So if we have younger people in our family that are trying to help us, we always keep an open mind and remember that those people are trying to help us, and they really can't live in our shoes because they don't know they're at a different age, and they have to really adjust their thinking to what we're going through. We're giving up our home, we're giving up our facility, we're giving up our car, and it takes a toll on us. So we have to try and keep as positive as we can, but remember that the people who are helping you haven't gone through that yet, so they really they're not suffering or having any feeling for that. So we have to be respectful to them and get them to try to tell them what's happening and how we feel, and to try and get them involved if we can to help us solve the problem, whether it's a matter of moving or talking to the doctor or the nurses or going up to the care home and getting booked into a assisted living place. So we're on the list, and when they get an opening, they give us a call, and then we move. So it's as we age, there's a change that's coming. So we can't stop it, but we can think about it and try to plan for it. And if we don't plan for it, it's going to come and hit us in the face, and we're going to be stuck with the result. So it's nice to think ahead of time and try and think along the lines of what will I do when this happens, what will I do when that happens, and try and plot your life ahead. So I would invite you to comment backwards if you have some comments. And I don't have all the answers, but I'm just trying to live with the aging process and trying to make the best of it. So we wish you a happy afternoon and a great evening, and look forward to seeing you later. Bye-bye for now.